Welcome to Castomancy, the only podcast that already knows that you still think about your ex. Stop it. Coming up on this episode, dice. Simple and effective? Who knows? We're about to find out. We're going to also discover if the moon landing was faked. Do the ancestors actually need offerings? And we'll learn if the super soldier program is as full of bullshit as it sounds like it is. And as always, we'll be answering your listener questions, and I apologize for any answers you don't like in advance. So scry the ethers and consult your local land spirits. It's time for Castomancy. Okay guys, I wanted to do a little housekeeping before I start this episode. I have decided to change the format of the show to a degree. I feel like I'm spending way too much time on history. I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's the focus that I want for the show. I want the show to just be hands-on. We're going to do some divination. We're going to see what kind of answers we get, and we're going to see how useful these oracles are or not. In the last episode, I spent more time on history and the setup of it than I actually did answering questions. And I'm trying to keep them around half an hour each within that range, so I really don't want to skew it that way. So I think the other issue with the history I've found is when I go back, because I want to do more rune episodes, I want to do more Lenormand episodes, because there's more than one technique for those oracles. And I don't want to just keep hammering like, oh yeah, it's the Lenormand again, you go back and listen to that. I don't know, maybe it's art, but for this episode at least, I'm late anyways by quite a bit, so I want to get another episode out. And beyond that, I don't want to spend too much time on other things like I'm doing right now. So let's get into this particular oracle. Today's episode is about dice, which is a really simple thing. You probably got a million of the things laying around your house. In particular, we're going to use D6, six-sided die today for the people who aren't complete nerds. And they're very simple methods. I don't think you really need anything. If you want to get complicated, you can, and we'll get into that. So this episode is going to be off the cuff. I've got my little book. I'm actually going to do this live. I have my dice here for this episode, so I'm going to do the readings while I'm yapping into my microphone. So we'll see how big of a train wreck this actually is. So anyways, like I said, there's tons of methods you can do. You can make up your own. There's one that's out of Tibet called Tibetan Mo divination, and it's sort of similar in structure to what we'll do today, but the results are different. You could just make up your own. I mean, you'll get the feel for it, and I'm sure you could just make up your own responses here. And I would say also the 8-ball, the famous divination toy that everybody had as a kid, probably still does, somewhere in your office desk or whatever. The 8-ball, the little ball you shake and the thing comes up out of the dark water. It's just a die. I think it's an 8-sided die in there. That might be, I don't know if it's 8-sided. It would make sense for an 8-ball, but that's not how life is. So anyways, lots of methods. But in today, we're going to focus on 3 methods in particular. And when we ask our questions, I'm going to pose them to each one of those methods. So I'm going to, 1 question, 3 results. And we'll see if those line up or not. So for the very first method, I mean, you're going to need 1d6. It's easy. And for the other methods, it's easier if you have 2, which I'm sure pretty much everybody does. But if you have 1, you could probably make that work too. Actually, I take that back. Get 2 dice. Now, the brief usage for this particular oracle is you're going to get dice and throw them. Ta-da! And then, you're going to check your result against your book or whatever you're working with. So guys, the book I have today that I got all this really cool information from. So this is a Barnes & Noble special sale book. It was nobody wanted this book, so they're just trying to sell it at a discount. So this is the real deal here. It's called In Focus, Divination, Your Personal Guide. It's written by Stephen Bright, and I'm sure you can find this elsewhere. I don't think it's a Barnes & Noble exclusive, but maybe it is. So anyways, that's where I got it. So I'm going to try to find my page here real quick. And basically, while I'm looking for my page, I'll tell you the 3 methods. 3 dice and consult the result. Method 1 is throw your dice. Throw your die, excuse me. You're throwing 1 die. There's only 6 possible outcomes, so basically whatever number is up is your result, and each number corresponds to a certain result. We'll get into that. Method 2 is throw 2 dice. Now you're working with the big leagues here. This is really complicated. Throw 2 dice instead of 1. And then you're going to do some numerology math magic. And numerology kind of drives me insane. I I don't personally like it, but here it is. And basically all you do is if you get a number bigger than 10, you reduce it by adding, right? So if you got if somehow you got a 23, you would add 2 and 3 together to get 6. So 23 equals 6. And I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you can look up numerology yourself and absolutely lose your mind and do a deep dive on that. And this method is going to be a bit more interpretive because in our example 23, 2 plus 3 is 6. The 6 is the number that has the meaning associated to it. And so you would apply that meaning to your problem or your question. So it's a bit more interpretive than the absolutely prescriptive throw the dice, here's your result, yes or no kind of thing in the first method. Now method 3 gets even more complicated because now we have a chart involved. So you're going to throw 1 die and check the top row of the table. So if you got a 2, you look in the second spot. And then you throw another die and you check the side row of the table. And that's in the book. I know it's more visual, so you're not going to have that, but you just have to deal with it. I'm sure you can imagine it's a spreadsheet. And then basically when you get your 2 numbers, you check the things, you find the cell in the middle of the grid, and that is your result. So you can get a lot more results that way with just 2 dice if you are using that method. Okay, that's great. I think maybe here I'll pause for music, maybe not. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's time for the questions. Okay, welcome back. Maybe I paused, maybe I didn't. I got no idea. I'm rushing through this, which is not good. Guys, it's the question time. So if you'd like any questions to be posed to an oracle, whatever oracle we're working with at the time, send email to castomancer@castomancy.com or find me on Facebook. It's just Castomancy, I think, and you'll find the page there. And I was thinking, nobody's sending me questions. I haven't even checked the email. It's probably full of questions. Maybe. So anyways, I wanted to start off with my usual crazy questions, and because I have a real quick method today, this should be pretty fast. And then I'm going to do a lightning round where I just use the one die method, and we're just going to do a quick tally on how accurate this is. So we'll do like so many out of 10 right or wrong. So first, let's get into the crazy questions. I promised you at the show that I would deliver you the truth about the moon landing. If you're not aware of this, there's probably not a small number of individuals who believe that the moon landing was, in part or in whole, completely fake. And they have their reasons. If you want to read about them, you can. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I don't really care, I guess. But it's a topic that does come up a lot in the circles that I travel. So let's first do our very first method. It's so simple. We're going to ask, was the moon landing faked? And if you're doing this for real, like really real, you'd get in the mood and light a candle or whatever gets you in the mood for divination. But I have a break from everyone right now, so I'm just trying to make the most of it. So it's quiet. It's a quiet time. I'm going to throw some dice. Was the moon landing faked? Let's find out. I hope you can hear that in the audio. That'd be cool. Anyways, we've got... uh-oh, boys and ladies. We have a number 1 came up on the D6. And in my book it says the oracle suggests yes. And it's interesting, the wording I'm noticing right now. It says it suggests yes. It doesn't emphatically say yes. It just suggests it. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good so far. So method 2 for the moon landing being faked. Let's ask, was the moon landing faked? And I got a 4 and a 1, so that's a 5 together. We don't really have to do that much math this time. And if I sound like I'm drifting away from the microphone, it's because I am, because I'm throwing dice. Okay, so here's what it says for 5. Numerology, the meaning of 5. Seems like a tough number. It says, problems will arise and you will be challenged. This is a difficult time and struggles may become frequent with regard to your question. Do you choose to fight against them, or would you do better to retreat and admit defeat? To accept that something is not working, or that the time is not right, is not a sign of weakness, but rather a strength. So, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it says big challenges. Make sure if you want to leave, make sure it's good to leave. It's not wrong to leave. How do we apply that to our question? Well, it seems to imply that there were big challenges in regards to the moon landing, which obviously there were either way. But was it fake? I don't know. I think you could take that either way. Let's say if we already believe it's fake, then we're probably going to say like, oh, the challenges are talking about trying to prove that it's real, or the lie, or demonstrating that, and they need to walk away from that. But if you believe the moon landing's real, then of course you're going to say, look, walk away from stop trying to prove that it was fake, because that's a challenge and it's stupid. So really, that's really I don't know. I don't like that. That could be read both ways. If you have an opinion on that, please let me know what you think about that result, and even just the moon landing in general. I'd like to talk with anybody about any of these things, because they're very fun topics. All right, the third method. We're going to roll 2 dice separately and consult the magic table here. So our first die, I rolled it almost off the table. We got a 5, which stands for delay. Excuse me. It's just a 5 right now. And then we're going to roll the second one, and that's a 3. So we're going to look at our table. We got a 5, match it up with the 3 on the vertical column, and we have the keyword of friendship come up. Now, guys, I'm really lost now. I don't know. I don't know what friendship has to do with a moon landing being faked. I don't know. Maybe it was the friendship between the shadowy cabal that faked it and they pulled it off. Or maybe the real friends was the fake moon landing we made along the way. Wait, what? Whatever that meme is. I always get that wrong. Anyways, I don't know. The very first answer said it was definitely fake. It suggested it was fake. And then we got some stuff about difficulties and now friendship. So maybe people that think it's real and people that think it's fake can actually get along in the end. I don't know, guys. We're going to mark that one down as pretty inconclusive. So let's mess up another one. I recently came across... So I am familiar with the concept that lots of cultures around the world are very active when it comes to venerating their forebearers, their ancestors, honoring them in some way or another. And I think most of us, even in the West, when you go to somebody's house and on the mantle there's a photograph of one ancestor or another. So we do it a little bit, but some cultures are much more hands-on, even to the point of leaving out food or incense or something like this for their departed. The belief being that they can somehow utilize these in the afterlife and grow stronger. I know it's big in China. They'll bring ghost money to keep their ancestors wealthy in the afterlife, or something like that. If I'm getting it wrong, sorry guys, but that's my understanding of it. So, but I recently came across a podcast. I don't remember which one it was, but they were basically saying the ancestors have said through mediums, trance mediums, and afterlife communication that they don't need these things. They actually don't need them. So it's a waste of resources. Basically, they're saying, look, we're fine. We don't need your food. You eat the food. You have a body. We don't need it. So I'm curious about that now. So let's ask, do the ancestors need offerings? So I'm rolling. This is the D1 method. This is our first method. And I got a 2. And in this case, it says the oracle suggests no, which is interesting, which is what my most recent exposure to this information has been. So method 1, no, the ancestors don't need offerings. All that incense you're stinking up your house with, you can stop it because they're not eating the smoke or whatever, I guess the belief is. If it smells nice to you, keep doing it. But all right, method 2, do the ancestors need offerings? So we got a 5 and a 1, which is 6 if my math is correct, and if you don't know me, it may not be correct. 6, it says, promises to be a time of peace. You may have been through a difficult period, but harmony will soon be restored. This would be a good time to seek the advice and help of others. Support is needed from those around you, and family and community are noted. So that's interesting that it brings up community and family, and those to me are those are ancestor adjacent. And so it says they're noted and there's support from around you. Again, the trouble here that we're having is, and this is very common in divination, you need to formulate your questions, calibrate them to the oracle at hand. So the first method we're using is yes or no answers, and that's how I have formulated my questions. So we're getting really good results. But then we get off into this wishy-washy kind of open-ended question, which is what method 2 is geared towards. And that's why I personally, anyways, am having trouble connecting that to my question. So a time of peace, what do we say? If we don't offer, are they okay? we could take it that approach. Let's say we don't think we should offer. Our first answer was no, they don't need it, so we'll take that. So no offering. It's a time of peace. My computer just turned off. Hopefully it's still recording. I'm going to double check that because I'm paranoid about that. Yeah, we're still good. So if you don't offer, time of peace, not a problem. Harmony, everything's going to be good, and you got support from those around you in the community and family. But again, if you wanted to do it, you still get the same result here. Either way, it sounds like the ancestor's going to have your back, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Let's use method 3. Method 3, we have 2 dice we're going to roll, and I got a 4 and a 1, which comes together to the keyword of movement. So, movement. I would, for some reason, I want to say that movement would imply yes, you should offer. Just because it's an active thing, and active things are, in my mind, like a positive kind of answer, an affirmative kind of answer. So, I don't know. Do they need it? The very first thing said no, but then the other 2 things kind of say, it's not going to hurt. So, I don't know. Ask your own ancestors. We'll see what they say. That's enough of that question. Another home run. Knocked it out of the park. Okay, guys. The last question is a bit esoteric for people who aren't absolutely insane and read about crazy stories as much as I do. But here we go. The super soldier phenomena. And I don't really do a deep dive into this. I don't know that much about it, but I'm dimly aware of it. And basically, the short version is that some people are selected because they're special, and they're taken to these secret military programs that are either completely super advanced technology or super advanced spiritual technology, and they're crafted into these super soldier guys who are sent on off-world or other-world or interdimensional missions to do whatever. And then I guess usually the theme is when you're done with your mission, you are returned to a previous point in time, and you are either put into a younger body, and all of your old memories and wounds are erased. You're kind of retired somewhere, or you're retired into some kind of other planet because you're probably a war criminal by that time, and so they just hide you on a planet like Earth so the intergalactic Nuremberg trials don't find you. Anyways, if you're not familiar with that might be a lot to process, but to me it sounds kind of like bullshit. I don't know. Some of the stories are entertaining, I'll give them that, but I don't necessarily believe any of that. So let's figure it out. Is the super soldier phenomena bullshit? Here goes. Guys, we got a 2. The Oracle suggests no. So it's real. There really are superhuman, interdimensional U.S. Marines out there. I guess. I don't know. It's a cool idea. I like Warhammer 40K. It's cool. I like Space Marines. Why not? So let's do the method 2 because this is a really serious question. All right. Whoops. We got two. We got a 10. We got a 5 and a 5. So guys, using the simple math magic of numerology, we got a 1, right? Because 1 plus 0 is 1. There you go. I just want to show off a little bit. 1. A new beginning is before you. Therefore, opportunities and fresh starts are noted, and you are being encouraged to consider all new possibilities. This could mean leaving previous situations. A new cycle is beginning. So we have some kind of new growth situation. And since it's not bullshit, I guess it's a growing program. It's a growing phenomenon, which it is. There's a lot of guys. I guess they even have like conferences. Like a bunch of guys fly in and they do a big conference on it every so often. So some people are taking it very seriously. I don't know. So something is growing. So the Super Soldier program is growing. And guys, if you're interested in this kind of work, talk to your nearest recruiter and join the Super Soldier program. Good luck. Let me know if you know how to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm interested. Maybe. Sounds kind of cool. But, all right. The last method. Method 3. So far, we got a yes on the Super Soldier. I wasn't expecting that. Method 3, I got a 3 and a 6. So we're going to look that up in our table. 3 and 6. We have sadness. Is it sad because it's really a tough life and all these poor guys have PTSD or something like that, space PTSD? And then, or is it sad because it's not real and we don't get power armor and we can't go destroy, Planet Glock together with our human bros? I don't know. Anyways, the Oracle, I think in this case, the Oracle seems to say it's a real program, but it's sad. That's my take on it. All right, guys, moon landing faked. Yeah, it was. Did the ancestors need offerings? No, but probably give it to them anyways. And is a super soldier phenomena bullshit? No, it's a real deal. So, anyways, that's all according to the dice. I'm not making those statements, so if you want to throw whatever at me, I didn't say it, the dice did. Okay, lightning round. And guys, just because these questions are so quick, I just wanted to test this out. So I'm going to make notes of this as I go, so I can, I'm going to grab my pen, and hopefully it's got some ink in it. It's broken. We'll just make it up as we go. Okay, this is going to be a percentage-based result, so we're really putting this oracle to the test now. So those answers we just got, we might not even want to regard them if this doesn't go well, right? So here we go. The first question, am I recording a podcast right now? Pretty obvious answer. It says the oracle suggests that it is likely, but there will be conditions. So great, I'll probably record it and realize I wasn't recording the whole time. I'm going to mark that as a yes. Am I at home? The oracle suggests yes, that's true. I am at home. Is it a Sunday? I got a 6. The oracle suggests that the matter is out of your hands. Guys, I don't know what that means. Is it a Sunday? It's out of my hands. I mean, I guess it is. I don't know. I'm counting it as a yes. Okay. I don't control time. Am I on a computer now? I got a 5. The oracle suggests it's likely, but there will be conditions. I really don't like where that's going. It's suggesting technological problems. Do I like ice cream? I do, by the way. The answer is yes. Again, it's likely, but there will be conditions. And that's actually true. I don't like all ice cream. My love for ice cream is conditional. Do I have to feed my snake today, my pet snake? I got a 2. The oracle suggests no. That's wrong. I have to feed him. I don't know if he's going to eat or not, but that's the situation. Did I buy another gun today? The oracle suggests the matter is out of your hands. I don't know. Oh, is that being literal? Is that being like cheeky? Because the answer, I did not buy a gun today. So it's out of my hands? I'm going to count that as a yes. That's cool. That's funny. Did I really need... Here you go. Do I really need to pee right now? I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for my need to pee. And the oracle suggests yes. So if that's a binary question, yes. I guess I didn't really quantify that. Do I enjoy the fall or the autumn? The autumnal season? I got a 2 on this one, guys. That's a no. That's a lie. I love the fall. That's my favorite. That's a wrong answer, oracle. Get your stuff together, dice. Am I at least 6 feet tall? I got a 4. The oracle suggests that you're directed... Well, my goodness. If I could read, that would help a big deal for this show. That you direct your attention to other more pressing matters. So, I think we got scolded a little bit there for being so stupid with this. I'm good. I don't know. I'm gonna count that as a yes. I like that. I like that sass. I like when you get that sass from these oracles. So guys, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loose yeses on this result. 8 out of 10. That's 80%. That's as much math as I can do. That's fantastic. All right, cool. We've got this is a great oracle. I definitely suggest using this to make all your important life decisions. All you need is 1d6. Okay, guys, listener questions. Again, if you do want to send me one, send me at Castomancer. Send it to me at castomancy.com or find me on Facebook. Just search for Castomancy. The listener question today, and this is actually the reason I'm doing the show right now, because I got excited because I wanted to answer this question. So thank you, Paul V. Okay, so basically, somebody in his life has a real cool investment strategy, right? So, and they're basically saying it's the whole. I say basically a lot. They're saying it's the Holy Grail. They found it. Okay, they got it. Is that true or not? Is the question. And let me tell you, I hope so. I hope for you guys it is. I've been looking for that one a long time. All right, so the very first method, number 1, we're just going to throw 1 dice, 1 die. And we got a 5, and it suggests it's likely, but there will be conditions. Okay, so it's probably going to be a good strategy. Probably going to make some money. Is it the Holy Grail? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. But if it is, you're going to have to, it's not going to be easy to work with or something like that. Some technicality will get you. Okay, if you start hearing noises again, it's because my window of silence is closed. So, sign up for Patreon. Give me all your money, and I'll build a nice studio. Guys, okay, we're on part number 2, on method number 2. for the same question, is this strategy the Holy Grail? So we're going to roll 2 dice. We got it. We got an 8 this time. Turn to our magic book page here. 8. You have gained wisdom and confidence. Those around you will notice your accomplishments, and promotions of all kinds could be before you. Time invested is paying off. The outcome you've been considering may not have been reached just yet, but you are certainly on your way. That's really a very positive answer. And coupled with the first one, so far I'm on the right track. So whatever this method is, just send it to me in the direct messages, and I'll test it too. Keep, whatever. I know these things are usually IP, so I'm joking. But use the dice separately. Okay, so here we go. Third method, using the dice separately. 2. We got a 2 and a 2. So let's go there in the chart. We got the word conflict. So real positive reading up until that point, which is kind of a bummer. Conflict. Well, there's no interpretation in the book, but we all know what that word means. So, with our first result, looks like yeah, but there's conditions. Second result, success, time invested pays off, but then conflict. So I guess my take on this is, once you guys are fantastically, disgustingly wealthy, try not to let it go to your head. Don't fight each other over, oh, it was my method, I found it first, or whatever. Or that's my money, blah, blah, blah. Money conflict, okay? So it looks like it's going to be really successful, but more money, more problems, I guess. That's what the Oracle seems to suggest in this case. So thank you very much for your question, Paul, and for the motivation to get back in here. So that is it. We're going to summarize this one really quick at the end of this episode, and that's going to be a wrap. So we'll catch you in that section. Okay, everybody, I'm doing this one off the cuff too. I'm just going to go down my list and tell you my thoughts instead of taking careful notes like I've done in the past. And you probably won't even notice a difference. So, categories, ease of use. This really could not be any more simple. You just are literally throwing dice and reading results. I'm going to leave it at that. Very simple. Learning curve. If you already know your numbers, and you probably should by now, you'll be fine. There's very little to learn. Clarity of answers. With the first method, they're very clear. They're basically yes or no. With the other ones, a little interpretation, which is our next category, intuitive application. For the last 2 methods, yes, you will need to bring your intuition to the table. They're just not as clear cut, and especially if you're asking open-ended questions, you're really going to need to feel those out. Depth. I don't really think there's any depth here at all. Honestly, there's a little bit, and I think if you wanted to, you could make this more complicated, like we saw with the third method, where you get the tables, and if you could somehow combine those tables with the meanings of the numerological associations, whatever, you could get really crazy with it. And I'm sure some people have, and their books are probably out there already, waiting just for you. Portability. I mean, really, it's 1d6. You can get micro d6. You can get those small ones. I can't remember the company, but that German company makes them. They're really nice quality. They're very cool. So, yeah, portable. Bring your dice. Remember the information. Even if you can't, it's a book and 1 die. So, very simple. Aesthetic, just salt. It's there's not much to it. It's a pair of dice, but if you get some cool dice, and it's neat because it ties in with the gambling and luck and fortune and fate kind of thing, kind of down to earth fortune telling is what we'll call it. This is not a highfalutin consultation of the spheres of the universe. This is a lady luck kind of thing. So it can have that, especially if you get some cool dice made out of bones or something. Then it could get really creepy and fun. Other than that, there's not much happening. So it's neat. We'll leave it at that. That's good. What it seems well suited for, just what we did. Really quick questions, really kind of yes or no. You could go a little deeper with the numerological approach, or the third method with the table, and get a little deeper. I think you could tease out a lot if you really had the time to sit down and work with this, which if you've been listening to this episode at all, I don't. But yeah, I think it's kind of fun just to, if you're out with lunch with your buddies or whatever, this would be a good one to use there. That's it. Normally here we break and review the last oracle we did, which was the runes, but I'm not going to take a break because I realized I didn't actually ask any verifiable questions in the meantime. Or if I did, I don't have it in my notes. I totally forgot about it. So that's where that is. The runes are cool, though. If you have not used them, go check them out. Go listen to that episode if you haven't. So I'm just going to leave it here. Whoops. I forgot to pick an oracle for next time. I don't know. Stay tuned. It'll be a surprise. Who knows? It could be anything. But give me your questions, and I'm going to post them to whatever last-minute decision I make. And we'll see what happens. Send them to Castomancy at castomancy.com or find me on Facebook under Castomancy. Please review or subscribe or whatever you do with podcasts. I actually don't know. I just listen to them and I make this one. But thank you for listening, everybody. We will see you in the future.